Blake Brockermeyer did a really good breakdown, I thought, over on 247sports.com about the best offensive line units in the country coming into this year. And he went really in depth on it. A lot of this stood out to me because I couldn't pick it apart. Like, I looked at it and said, yeah, that pretty much sounds spot on. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire top 10. Like, Oregon's in here, Miami's in here, Ole Miss, Missouri, they're all in here. But I wanted to start in his top 6, and I just wanted to go down this list right quick. Bama's at number 6. So Alabama brings back Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts. And those are probably two of the better, if not maybe the best, interior offensive line combos in the country. Caden Proctor is not at Iowa anymore. That was just a vacation. So he went to Iowa, but now he's back. So you took care of left tackle. They imported Parker Brailsford at center from Washington, who was the center on the Joe Moore Award-winning unit last year. So this is going to be a pretty good unit. Now, my question, and Blake said the same thing, is not, do they have frontline guys? They're good. They will be one of the best offensive lines in the country, 1 through 5. If anyone goes down, how quality is the depth behind them? I have a sneaking suspicion maybe the quality of depth on the offensive line at Alabama this year may not be quite at the level that you're used to seeing it. That may not be a long-term thing, but given the situation that staff walked into, it could be a lot worse. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look in Knoxville at Tennessee. Tennessee's got one of the best offensive lines in the country this year. They added Lance Hurd. It was a huge addition. He was basically the third best tackle at LSU, but LSU's got two of the best tackles in the country. So Lance Hurd comes up there, and they can immediately plug him in at left tackle because Hurd's one of the best tackles in the country. It's just that LSU happens to have an overabundance down there, especially in the portal era. And so Tennessee was the beneficiary. But Cooper Mays at center, John Campbell Jr. at right tackle. You've got Spraggins over at right guard, 95 combined starts between those guys. And then Dane Davis is their number 6. This is a really important thing to monitor always, but especially in the expansion era where you're just going to play more games if you want to get to where you want to go. Especially on offensive line, how many guys do you have? 6, 7, 8. How many of those guys do you have that aren't just plug and go at their position? How many of them are like Dane Davis, who you could count on to play multiple positions? How many of them are cross-trained like that? Because he's going to play. He's not going to be listed as a starter, but he's going to play. It could be in spot duty, in blowouts, or it could be in week 1 you have a guy go down. He ends up being your starter the rest of the year at a position that you already had penciled in for someone else. So that's very good because he's very versatile. Texas, absolutely smack dab in the middle of this equation. Texas has got one of the best offensive lines in the country. Kelvin Banks, to me, is the best tackle in the country. And he's been in that conversation ever since the day he stepped on campus. The right side combo of Campbell and Cam Williams, 6'3", 322 and 6'5", 360, respectively. Just run right. Just run right. Even in the SEC, just run right. It'll work out. When all else fails at Texas this year, just run the ball to the right. And you know what? Running to the left's not a bad idea either. They are experienced at center. I think they got really good competition at left guard. So I don't know who emerges there. We can pencil it in. But fall camp will produce a good player there at left guard. 123 returning starts. Texas is in a very, very good spot. You'll notice there are no teams I'm mentioning here whose over-under win totals like 5 or 6, but they got one of the best offensive lines in the country. It's almost like this position is very important. Georgia, we weren't going to go very long without talking about them. Georgia's got a ton of experience here this year. Xavier Truss at right tackle, 28 starts. Ernest Green at left tackle, 14 starts. Dylan Fairchild, left guard, 10 starts. Ratledge is back again for the 19th year. He's got 28 starts at right guard. Week 1 against Clemson's a really sneaky good game. It's not because the point spread's really close. Georgia's favored by nearly 2 touchdowns. But if you believe in the matchup game, Georgia's offensive line versus Clemson's D front, really, really good. Really good. Now, I don't know whether Clemson can score, but could be a really, really good early test. For all you know, maybe it's one of the best fronts that Georgia faces all year. Who knows? LSU, way up there. LSU's got some questions elsewhere. Offensive line's not one of them. One of the best they've had come through there in a while. I think this is the best offensive tackle combo in college football this year. Will Campbell at left tackle, 26 starts, first-round NFL draft pick. Emory Jones at right tackle, 24 starts, same thing. Those guys are the reason that Herb is up at Tennessee now. 4 of their 5 have 20-plus career starts to their name. DJ Chester, I guess if you want to try and start asking questions, that's a guy who's going to be probably plugged in at center for them. Not a lot of experience at all there. But, man, outside of that, it's really nice. You got Jaden Daniels going off to the NFL. Garrett Nussmeier starting, but he's not a true freshman. Now, he's green. He's not a true freshman, but this is the offensive line he gets to work behind. That's why those guys down there are pretty excited and confident they can have a pretty high-caliber run game this year, too. Speaking of a high-caliber run game, who won the Doak Walker Award last year? Well, it was Ollie Gordon II at Oklahoma State. And the reason he did that is because Oklahoma State's got an incredible offensive line. How about Blake putting Oklahoma State as the number 1 offensive line in the country coming into this year? And you know what? I think we've identified the reason he believes that. Allow me to read the classifications here. Redshirt senior, redshirt senior, redshirt senior, redshirt senior, redshirt senior. Oklahoma State has 172 career starts coming in just the starting 5 on their offensive line. Cooper, there at left tackle, 49. Actually, these aren't positions. This is just in order of experience. 49 starts, 40 starts, 34 starts, 26, 23. Yeah, that's the offensive line that paved the way for Gordon last year. They're all back. And you know what? With that rule they came down with the other day, where I can't remember the exact wording of it, but it's gonna let Cam Rising have an 8th or 9th year of eligibility if he wants it. Maybe some of these guys are eligible for that as well. So it's not even a guarantee. This is their last year. But Oklahoma State, in a Big 12 where anything could happen, don't be overlooking a team that has, it's like 5 million combined starts on the offensive line. Oh, yes. Position unit talk. That's how you know we're close.